Okay.
I think you should let it go. Good evening, and thank you all for coming. Our presentation will be about 35 to 40 minutes, so you can still make some of the ballgame. I don't need two. Thank you. Okay.
Close to your mouth.
I want to say a few words in German from a German folk song, and then we'll move on to English for the rest. Die Gedanken sind frei, wer kann sie erraten? Kein Mensch kann sie wissen, kein Jäger sie schießen. Es bleibt dabei, die Gedanken sind frei. My thoughts, they are free, no one can guess them. No person can know them, no hunter can shoot them. And so it will be, my thoughts, they are free. I met a German nun in Ravensbrück concentration camp. She was imprisoned because she taught this folk song to her students. This restriction of freedom of thought resulted in her imprisonment, which resulted in the restrictions of all her other freedoms, even the freedom of life. January 27th is the International Holocaust Memorial Day. The theme for this year's commemoration is the fragility of freedom, the fragility of freedom. Today we know that Hitler's war was not only a war of conquest or expansion, but also, and maybe primarily, war of annihilation. He killed 6 million Jews and 11 non-Jewish civilians. Today we know that in all places, those who are targeted for persecution and genocide first have their freedom restricted. Today I also want to reiterate that 6 million Jews, or any victim number, is not an abstract entirety. It is an individual mother, father, child, cousin, teacher, not a mere number. An individual cloaked in their own humanity. 6 million times, one by one by one. I do not die, though all my freedoms are restricted and my death sentence proclaimed, my crime being Jewish. Now I would like to introduce you to my family. Some of you have met them last year at my presentation.
My name is Aura. I'm Judith's daughter.
And you're a psychiatrist.
And I'm a psychiatrist.
Sarah.
My name is Sarah. I work for the New York City Department of Health.
Good. My name is Ilana. Judith's granddaughter. I work for the International Rescue Committee.
My name is Michael. I'm Judith's grandson, and I work for a public defender's office.
Ilana.
You will hear our voices throughout, her story in our family's voices. Grandma invites us to join her in her presentation. She claims, I quote, "to protect the audience from my strong accent." But we think it is really for the connection. She challenges us, and she even challenges God. She writes in her poem, "God, you've been all, seen all, done all. Need a challenge? Take away my accent."
14-year-old Anne Frank writes in her diary, "In 1942, that is when the trouble started for the Jews. Our freedom was severely restricted by anti-Jewish decrees. Jews were required to wear a Jewish star, were forbidden to ride in cars, even their own, forbidden to sit on park benches, forbidden to sit in their own garden after 8 p.m. Jewish students were required to attend only Jewish schools. Couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But life must go on," writes Anne. But life did not go on. She was a victim of the final solution. Anne Frank died in KC Bergen-Belsen in Germany, just short of her 16th birthday. Her mother and sister also died in concentration camps. Only her father and her diary survived.
Oh, I can add to Anne Frank's list of restrictions. Jews must. Jews are forbidden, forbidden, forbidden. But I'm so grateful for the memories I have of before. of my young life before the terror, before the after.
Some memories of before. Because of the morning sun and Grandpa's jokes, because of the forest green and girls who preen, because of ice cream cones and muddy slush between my toes, because of my messy bed and my brother's stupid head, because of all that, I am glad. We, our extended family, live in the house my grandfather built. He also opened a general store and bought farmland. His 2 sons later expanded these assets.
My grandfather, a man who can peel an apple with glee, undisturbed, unperturbed, artfully disrobing peel from core, knows how life flows. And bread, always bread.
We have met. This good season saw grain to flour. Women folk will make the bread, and all will smell the bread and smile. A serious amen smile. Yes, bread, always bread.
This forced order of identification by making us wear the Jewish star seems such an absurd order in my village of Korima. Here everyone knows everyone. Their religion, number of children, acres of land owned, number of horses in the barn. The star now introduces a different knowing, a demarcation. The star creates a transformation. We are now seen through the prism of this disastrous anti-Semitic propaganda. This branding and shaming elicits ridicule from non-Jews and suppressed rage from Jews. This small piece of yellow cloth, a huge impact on both Jews and Christians.
Patriarchal Kupala. My cousin Elsa and I yearn for outside world. Elsa is 13 and I am 12. We decide we will visit Bardayevska Kupala, a nearby spa town. The town is forbidden and travel is forbidden. What about the Jewish star, I ask Elsa. They do not want stars, so we go without. We risk discovery and punishment if apprehended without it, and imprisonment with it. Elsa is brave, and her determination and my desire propel me. We of course tell no one of our plan. In Bardayevska Kupala, we do all things forbidden to Jews. Sit on a park bench, enter a hotel lobby, enter a church, buy ice cream, pretend to use the public phone, and the best part, we walk on the sidewalk which is forbidden to Jews, and do not elicit any special attention. Ordinary young girls, just ordinary. The Hitlerjugend are in town, Hitler youth from Germany. Their high-polished shoes match their high, proud confidence. Ice cream in hand, Elsa and I pretend legitimacy, but not with the same confidence as those interloping Hitlerjugend. Not wearing the star allowed such niceness of life, such lightness of life. I relish my visibility and absence of conspicuousness. I say, Elsa, can we sit on the park bench just one more time? Back home, relieved reprimands from our parents. Sweet was that stolen act of freedom.
Jews must hand in valuables. We carry the old, big, decorative mirror to the depot as ordered. The mirror is peopled with our family history. Woven into it are new hairstyles, new outfits, choices and hesitations, frugality and extravaganza. May the reflections of you new owners reflect your ugliness and greed.
Efka's request. My friend Efka's family is scheduled for the next deportation. Efka comes by with a request. Would you please check the post office every day for Papa's letters? As soon as we get there, I will send you a new address so you can send us Papa's letters, she says. I will, I reply, but why don't you send it to him directly? She looks hurt. Papa used to write to this address. promised me you would check for his letter at the post office every day. FK is concerned lest the letters be sent back to Papa and he stops writing. Papa's letters arrive only about 2 times a year. He left for America several years ago. In every letter, he promises the boat tickets will arrive soon. I picked up one letter from the post office, but received no forwarding address from FK. FK was not have an address. FK was not me. What does he make of that Papa in America?
Educational restrictions. Hitler declares that Jewish students poison the classroom air and harm Christian students. Therefore, we are no longer allowed into public schools. From 3rd grade on, I attend a Jewish one-room schoolhouse. 8 grades together. I do not mind the new arrangement. The older students help the younger students. There is no physical punishment. Good behavior is assured by strict parental admonition. But I do miss the view of the meadow from my old school. My meadow grows daisies and poppies and flowers so blue, there isn't a color my meadow won't do. Our view is now of old walls of old houses, but we do learn.
Deportations start. My father's injunction, hell to your hell. We will defy, we will survive. We will hide in some attic, cross borders by night, seek shelter in ditches, sleep in the forest, crouch under bridges. When the law of this land comes to an end, all of us, one of us, maybe just one of us will defy, will survive. And so, to avoid deportation, we children are smuggled illegally into Kaschau, Hungary. The gate of Aunt Frida's yard is still locked. She does not know of our arrival, not safe to inform her. For hours, eternal dawn hours, we 3 children and our illegal smuggling guides are the most conspicuous sight on this avenue. The only human sight. How harsh, glaring, threatening our visibility.
At 5 a.m., roaming the city of bolted doors, I hear my intensified heart outsound the church bells, inviting the faithful to 6 a.m. Mass. Come, all ye faithful. Glorify him, the Son, the Jewish Son. At 6 a.m., will bolted doors unlock for me? At 6 a.m., where will I be? Will I be?
A year later, when Eichmann starts deportations in Hungary, we again cross the border illegally back into Slovakia.
There's a lull in deportations. I want to visit Anu, my mother. She's in the internment camp in Sered, Slovakia. Travel, of course, is forbidden. Aunt Irenke insists on coming with me. We go without a start and hope to blend in with other train passengers. This travel journey is even more stressful than hiding. On this train, behind this pretend mask of a non-Jew, we live both roles with terrifying intensity. Exhausting and fearful, this pretend pantomime. Opposite me in the compartment sits a farm woman dressed in native costume. She holds a basket in her lap, and next to her is a nun dressed in black habit. The farm woman uncovers the basket and gives the nun a homemade bun and a pear, and then smiling gives me the same gift. The nun crosses herself and then eats. What do? I learn the Lord's Prayer just in case, but I do not know the right movement of the cross, left to right or right to left. The wrong move would be a giveaway. Irenke's eyes are closed, perhaps she's really asleep. This pretending is exhausting. I put the food into Irenke's bag and pointing at her say dutifully, I will share it with her when she wakes up. Dobre devchatko, says the farm woman. Good girl. And the nun too nods approvingly. What if they knew? Perhaps help, perhaps betrayal. Fear and hope in my heart, on my part. Priests and nuns ride Priests and nuns did hide and save several of my relatives at great risk to themselves. In the Sarah internment camp, we are allowed to visit Anu for 3 hours. I sit on her bed and hold her hand. I never see her again. A few days later, a letter comes from my father, and now I have only you children. The implication is clear. Anu died in that camp. I pretend it is not so. I need her alive. My own motivation to stay alive is fully connected to tell Anu. My imaginary letters to her are my survival bricks.
My sister Miriam, age 7, and I are in hiding with a brave, caring Christian family. We are betrayed and imprisoned by the Gestapo police, the most violent and feared SS group. Our capture is loud and visible. Their goal, to make us invisible. With help, we escape the prison, and Miriam is taken in by another very brave Christian family at great risk to themselves. I join a group hiding in the forest. I, with the group, am eventually captured by German soldiers and sent to Auschwitz. The wagon train, too high, too small, too barbed, too walled. No room, no space for rage, no drink, no food, no air, no care. We arrive in Auschwitz. Every survivor has a miracle story. Mine, no room at the gas chambers today. Today, 10,000 Hungarian Jews are gassed. Our transport is sent to Ravensbrück Women's Concentration Camp in Germany. My miracle, saved from being gassed due to the death of 10,000 human lives. How do I deal with this miracle? Are you not tempted, God, to lend a hand, prevent a scream?
I hate it, I hate it. My young body is a liability. The lice in my hair and clothing, scabs on my hands, cold invades my every cell, hurt, hunger, and agony of thirst. Cough deprives me of non-existent energy. In spite of our shroud-like thinness, our bunk is too narrow for the 4 of us, and the blood-stained blanket also too narrow, and a non-existent mattress too non-existent. We are forbidden shelter from sun and covered from rain. Yes, my body is a liability, but I try with all my non-existent might to hold on to it. Once you let the body go, give up, become indifferent, once you do that, the direction is always death, always death. Prisoner suicide is not allowed. Punishment, if caught attempting suicide, is attacked by the ferocious SS dogs, beating, hanging. Punishment options are unlimited.
In camp, I examine the ground for something to chew on. Grass, a twig, a leaf. There's nothing. All that grew was already uprooted by other starving prisoners. Nothing is replanted. Here, nature mimics the Nazis, deprives and withholds. 4 more hours until evening soup, our only meal. I develop a system of distraction.
I will think of every thought I ever had, every person I ever knew, every song I ever sang, every place I've ever been to. And then I think of new categories, but invariably, hunger intrudes, shatters my fantasies.
Hunger, do not intrude. Hunger, now hear this, my Genesis wish. Hunger, do not intrude, do not chagrin, do not shrill, do not presume you are my all. You are not my all, at all. Sun, be warm, sun. Hunger does not let you in. I'm always shivering. Crocuses, be purple pink. Bees, do not sting. Matching buttons for my coat. Scratch that, a new coat. Pale, pale gray, a new comb for my new hair. No barren soup, no turnips, no black water. A big book, hard-covered, visible. Sing birds, green songs, loud, louder, louder than their rifle shots. Gooseberry jam, friends, cousins. A boy in sandals watches me. Me, a hit? So be it. Neighbor woman, look at me. God Almighty, dance with me.
As we eat our soup, we can hear and taste the grinding of dirt and curd in our mouth. After the soup, the women speak of recipes. How much sugar and flour for strudel, how many eggs for sponge cakes. Everyone's recipe is foolproof, been and used for generations. No talk of family, just food, easier. What family images come with recipes? Women feed themselves and each other on memory food. A futile gesture, but a survival trick. I'm obsessed with the desire from my half-eaten red ration, which I am saving for the next morning to see me through roll call. Invariably, my sensible plan fails. Next morning is another eternity. You cannot trust next morning. I eat my bread and pray for a dream with food in it.
The SS guard intrudes with his dog. The guard is young, fit, abusive, and intoxicated with Hitler's propaganda. On his helmet is the insignia of his Totenkopf, death head. On his belt buckle, Gott mit uns, God with us. They claim a monopoly of heaven and hell. And Deutschland über alles is their national anthem. Germany above all. Germany above all.
SS Guard knew you then. Before you knew what now you do. Before that, did you pet a cat? Wear summer shoes before those boots? Bow before the Holy Cross? And hail the Hakenkreuz? And did you throw a ball, tease a girl, practice how to tie a tie, and help your granddad untie the net? That before you crushed the skull of a sweet-haired child? Knew you then the ways of men instead of bloated supermen? Be damned if you forgot, be double damned if you did not.
What luck? Luck is the most valued currency in camp. I'm transferred from the sick block to the seamen subcamp. Here the soup is thicker and our roll call shorter. But the slightest suspicion of sabotage in the Siemens armaments factory results in being shot, hanged, or sent to the nearby gas chambers. In this subcamp, the toilets are outside our barracks. I go there on my first evening. Suddenly, the watchtower guard shouts, "Halt, halt!" He shouts, I run. He shoots, I run. I run back to the barracks. I keep running, and he keeps shooting. I do not see the bullets, but smell them around me. I manage to reach my barrack where all are awakened by the shots. The shot is opened by the Brockel tester. The door is opened by the Schockel tester, the prisoner barrack supervisor. She wears a pink house skirt. She whispers furiously, "Are you meant to go out there? How can they keep an eye on you in the dark, you stupid, stupid Jew?" She keeps the barrack dark and orders everyone back into the bunk. "Schnell, Ordnung, alles normal." She pushes me quickly and angrily onto my bunk. She's terrified as the SS entered to investigate the shooting. My presence outside would be seen as an attempt to escape. Nothing enrages them more than escapes. They take that personally. The supervisor would be held responsible. She would be hanged. I would be shot and the whole barrack punished. I should be worrying about the shooting, the hanging, the communal punishment, but all I can think of is the house guard. How does she manage a pink housecoat in Ravensbrück? In my past, I too had a housecoat. I know that, but a bullet into my body, a noose around my neck, my mind refuses. The night passes without SS intrusions, and at soup time the broadcaster puts a whole potato into my soup. A whole potato. Perhaps to celebrate that we're both still alive and never go out again when dark. And to this day I'm loyal to potatoes. Never pasta, always potatoes. When I visit grandchildren, I bring no treats. I bring them home fried potatoes. Grandma's treat.
My Ravensbrück love song. Spring comes even to Ravensbrück. Now that I'm not quite so cold and not quite so hungry, I think of Egon from back home. If we were still home in Kuruma, he would be my boyfriend. There were clues, indications, and my fervent wishes. My Ravensbrück love song. One Sunday that April, the sun came by, I untangled my hair, with the hem of my dress wiped the mud off my shoes. Then, in proper attire, I set forth. Not today, you stupid walls of ugliness. Today I decree plump trees, crickets, and green things for me. On the street with a name, no numbers today, we meet, Egon and me. I'm early, as is he. His mother liked me, that blue-eyed girl. Would she be pleased, her Egon and me? Stand back, you stupid walls, stand back. Today we will not be walled in. Not Egon, not me. I defy reality, but only in my fantasy. Egon died in the Auschwitz gas chamber, as did his family.
I pray, come Messiah. Lord, it would suit us fine if you made this Messiah time. Is not the apocalypse your cue to do the Messiah thing? The death march, the long line of prisoners is stopped at the camp storage depot and we have all handed a Red Cross package. Joy, food in my hand. Armed guards and their dogs appeared and we start the death march. Why the march? To prevent us prisoners from falling into enemy hands. Enemies being the occupying Allied army. At dusk, we're allowed to rest and eat. We sleep outdoors without blankets, but there is food in my hand. We eat. The next morning, a new terror. Many prisoners are sick and many die. Our digestive systems shrunk and cannot accommodate the rich food. We know death from starving, but death from eating. At every stage, death is in our midst, inside the camp or outside, when we try to escape or stay with the terror. Death, are they forcing you into overtime?
Ella and I decide to ration our food carefully. We will do what is necessary. Look at those trees. No leaves. But there will be, I say. My Kurima plum trees feel closer. I must get there, must get there.
In front of me, Vera is supporting her mother, Sherry. I cannot go on, cries Mother. You must, shouts Vera. Mother falls. The guard comes over and shoots her. Vera cries, Mir auch schießen, ich mit Mutter. Vera is Hungarian, learned some German in camp. She says, to me shoot also, I with Mother. The guard grins and walks away. God, does that not offend? Ella and I take Vera by her arms and march on. Alone, she will not make it.
On day 2 or even day 3, I still hear the shots, and then it becomes just background noise. Tired, hungry, we are not given any food after the food packages of the first day. I walk robot-like, one leg ahead of the other. All my being is in my legs. The rest of me, there is no rest of me. I ignore the shots. God, are they audible to you?
Damn you. I say, damn you. I say, a corpse. I say, a shooting. I say, a dog let loose. I say, damn you. I say, damn you. Be damned, I say. Because I say a corpse, a shooting, a dog let loose with ease.
The roads are crowded with German civilians, wounded German soldiers, forced foreign workers, all heading die Amerikaner. Now even the guards are tired. No more macht schnell, no more verfluchte Jude. They just shoot us wordlessly.
Liberation. I wake up and see different uniforms on different soldiers. We are liberated. I'm enveloped in contrast, in freedom. Plentiful potatoes, bread made of flour and not sawdust. Lucky trees, we do not have to eat leaves. Boots, I have boots. I can keep my promise made in Camp Ravensbrück. Feet, you shall have soles for your toes, and freedom to roam in all directions. I am free of extremes of hunger, violence, fear. That I say, do not hover by my side, you bloated creep, you cannot run as fast as me. I hum, I run, am everywhere, am everything. Help too is free, allowed. I help others and others help me. Now that is freedom. Allowed is freedom, help is freedom. But there is one fragility I dare not challenge. I do not check the daily Red Cross list listing the names of known survivors. In camp, I could fantasize my family's survival. But now I fear reality. Back home in Kurima, terror hits. My father, mother, brother, most relatives were murdered, victims of the final seduction. Yes, life goes on, good life. Here is proof, my lovely family. To them I say, with you I eat my bread in gladness. And the Holocaust too is not past. It is in the souls of us survivors. As is the fervent hope that you world will see to it that terror does not repeat. And this time let us be on time, not echoes of past silences and nobly moaning ignorance. With bread in hand, with difference, on time.
But is there a difference in today's indifference? Today, the world looks back critically at the passive stance of Holocaust bystanders. But what is our reaction and action to today's prejudice and genocide? Today, we cannot plead ignorance. This time, on time.
Just a few words on Holocaust deniers and anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, the hatred and prejudice against Jews has a long history. We hope that after the terror of the Holocaust, anti-Semitism will cease. But anti-Semitism is on the rise. My own Holocaust experience is the result of Hitler's racial anti-Semitism rooted in historical anti-Semitism. Holocaust denial is a very special sign of anti-Semitism.
Holocaust scholars point out that the age-old prejudice led to discrimination, discrimination to persecution, persecution to incarceration, incarceration to annihilation. It is inconceivable that with all the available massive evidence of the Holocaust, Holocaust deniers deny that fact. They claim that the terror was the product of the war rather than of a deliberate, carefully designed policy, that gas chambers did not exist, that Jewish conspiracy is trying to deceive society into the belief in that Holocaust terror.
Why denial? An important reason. It is more acceptable to offer sympathy and support to Nazi policy if that terror is minimized. Unfortunately, hatred, prejudice, genocide has been and continues to be present against many populations in many parts of the world. The solution? Addressing the fragility of freedom and preventing its restrictions must start in the kitchen, says Deborah Lipstadt. On this Holocaust Commemoration Day, we invite the whole world to enter the kitchen. Yes,
We do invite the whole world into that kitchen.
and now we just want to say the memorial prayer for for the Holocaust victims. So start.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra kirtei yamik malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karim v'imru amen.
Okay. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.